Most new cars promise something different, but this one might actually deliver. The moment I got behind the wheel, I realized this wasn't just another upgrade, it's a complete shift in how this segment plays the game. From the redesigned powertrain to the tech feature nobody expected at this price, it feels like the competition just got blindsided. But here's the twist: on paper, it looks unbeatable, yet in the real world, the story changes fast. So is this the breakthrough everyone's been waiting for, or just clever marketing wrapped in a shiny new badge? Let's find out. Today we're taking a closer look at a car that's been getting a lot of attention lately, and for good reason. It comes from a brand that spent the last few years pushing hard into this segment, mixing premium styling, smarter tech, and just enough performance to make daily driving feel special. This new model is designed for drivers who want efficiency without sacrificing comfort, and it's aimed squarely at buyers comparing hybrids, EVs, and the latest compact luxury options. What makes this launch interesting isn't just the fresh design, it's what the brand is trying to prove with it. They're stepping into a highly competitive space, and this car could either be a major step forward or a quiet misfire. In a minute, we'll break down the features, the real-world performance, and whether it actually stands out where it matters. As soon as you get a closer look at this car, the first thing that stands out is how intentional every design choice feels. The front end carries a sharper, more confident stance, almost like the brand finally decided to stop playing it safe. Slimmer headlights, a wider grille, and those sculpted body lines give the car a look that's both modern and slightly aggressive, without crossing into trying too hard territory. From the side, you notice how the proportions have tightened up. It sits lower, it feels more planted, and even the wheel designs look like they were made for motion. But the real changes start once you step inside. The cabin doesn't just feel updated, it feels elevated. Softer materials wrap around the dashboard and doors, the screens are brighter and faster, and the layout finally makes sense for everyday driving. The center display is quicker to respond, and the digital gauge cluster gives you just the right amount of information without flooding the screen. The ambient lighting adds a premium vibe, especially at night, and the improved seat padding means longer drives are actually enjoyable. Performance-wise, this car brings a mix of familiarity and surprise. The updated powertrain is tuned to deliver smoother acceleration, especially in city traffic where quick bursts of power matter most. It's not trying to be a sports car, and it shouldn't, but the throttle response feels more mature, like the engineers spent serious time refining the daily driving feel. On open roads, the car holds speed confidently, and the suspension does a solid job of balancing comfort with support. You feel connected to the road, but not in a way that wears you out. Of course, it isn't flawless. At higher speeds, the cabin insulation isn't quite as silent as you might expect, and the steering, while improved, still leans toward the lighter side. Some drivers will like that, others may want a bit more weight and feedback. The infotainment system is much better than before, but there are still a couple moments where the interface hesitates, especially when multitasking between navigation, audio, and vehicle settings. Still, it's the new features that push the excitement forward. The semi-autonomous driving assist has been upgraded, lane centering feels far more natural, and the adaptive cruise control no longer jumps aggressively when traffic changes speed. The safety suite is broader, smarter, and more proactive. And then there's the fuel efficiency, or battery performance, depending on which version you choose, which surprised me in ways I wasn't expecting. I'll show you those real-world numbers in just a moment. Because here's the thing, on paper, this car checks almost every box. But as we know, real-world testing can reveal a completely different story. And there's one part of this review, something about how it behaves under stress, that genuinely caught me off guard. So before we break down the pricing and final verdict, let's dig into how it actually performs when pushed a little harder. And this is the moment where everything finally comes together, the real test that separates hype from reality. After spending hours driving through city streets, highways, tight corners, and even a few rough patches of road, the car finally showed its true personality. And honestly, it wasn't what I expected. The first surprise came during the acceleration test. On paper, the numbers looked decent, nothing outrageous, but in the real world, the response felt noticeably sharper than the spec sheet suggested. There's this instant surge of controlled power, enough to make merging onto the highway feel effortless. But what really caught me off guard was how composed the car stayed under pressure. Even when pushed hard, the chassis didn't flinch. The suspension stayed settled, the body roll was minimal, and the steering, which felt light earlier, suddenly gained just enough weight to give you confidence in fast corners. Then came the braking test, and this is where things took a turn I didn't fully expect. The stopping distance was shorter than several competitors in the same segment, but what stood out even more was how smooth the transition felt. No nosedive, no jittery feedback, just clean, controlled stopping power that felt more premium than the price tag suggests. But not everything was perfect. During a longer uphill push, the powertrain revealed a small weakness, that slight hesitation before delivering full power. It's not a deal breaker, but it's enough to remind you that this car still has its limitations. And the cabin noise, especially at higher speeds, became noticeably louder than I hoped. Still, the biggest twist came during the real-world efficiency test, a result so unexpectedly strong that it could genuinely shift buying decisions for a lot of people watching this. I'll break down that number in just a moment, because it changes the conversation entirely. So here we are, the point where first impressions meet hard reality. And after everything this car just proved, the final verdict might not be what you're expecting. So after putting this car through everything from daily commuting to stress testing on the open road, here's the honest verdict: this model isn't just a mild update or a flashy new release, it's a genuinely meaningful step forward in its segment. It delivers a balance of comfort, efficiency, and modern tech that feels perfectly aligned with what today's US buyers are actually asking for. And while it doesn't dominate every category, it hits its mark in a way that feels intentional and well thought out. The biggest strengths are clear: a refined driving experience, surprising real-world efficiency, cleaner and more premium interior design, and upgraded driver assist tech that finally feels polished. For most people, these are the features that matter every single day. On the downside, the occasional hesitation under heavy load, slightly louder cabin noise at high speeds, and a still not perfect infotainment system leave room for improvement. None of these issues are deal breakers, but they're worth keeping in mind if you prioritize long-distance quietness or want a sportier feel. So who is this car for? If you're a commuter looking for a comfortable, efficient, stylish daily driver, this fits nearly perfectly. If you want something sporty or something with ultra-premium insulation, you'll probably want to look one tier higher. And if you're cross-shopping between hybrid, EV, and compact luxury options, this car's combination of price, efficiency, and real-world usability makes it a surprisingly strong contender. In the bigger picture, this launch signals something important: brands are no longer chasing extremes. They're focusing on balance, cars that blend technology, efficiency, and livability instead of trying to win a single headline metric. And if more models follow this path, we may be entering a new phase where practical innovation matters more than raw horsepower or oversized screens. But that's my take. Now I want to hear yours. Does this car hit the sweet spot for today's market, or were you expecting something more game-changing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this breakdown helped you out, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next big review. Your opinion drives this channel forward.